Hi there, welcome to Insight Consulting. I'm Chris Nanhurdle, and I have with me today another one of my fantastic clients, success clients, Jason Belle. Welcome, Jason.
Hey Chris, how you doing?
I'm very, very well. It's good to have you with me on our broadcast today.
It is unbelievable that I'm here today, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity to speak with you and to the listeners, of course, and the viewers, of course.
Right.
I'm in radio mode, so when I say listeners, I also mean viewers.
All right. Jason is one of the top performing sales execs at Starcom.
Yes, Stockholm Network. Yeah.
And he has seen a phenomenal improvement, not only in his performance with Starcom, in his professional life, but he's also seen an overall improvement in how he responds and copes with challenges. So,
No question.
I remember, Jason, when we first started working together. Actually, I'll say this.
Yes.
When I first returned from overseas studying, you were my very, very first client, and you were my first pro bono client.
2016, September 2016.
September 2016.
Correct.
And I remember we had the conversation saying, you will get to a place where you don't remember, or where you were surprised at how far you have come. You remember those kinds of conversations?
Oh yeah.
And you'll be looking back at where you came from and be amazed at how far you've come.
And so said, so done.
So first of all, tell us a little bit about that. Tell us of the journey and what are some of the particular successes that you have seen.
Before going into a ton of detail, suffice to say that I have seen a remarkable improvement in my confidence, in my sense of self, in my strengths, weaknesses, and just embracing all that I am. And importantly, taking full responsibility for every aspect of my life and not looking to blame any result in my life or anyone else outside of this guy right here. That's a major change from, say, even 2 years ago. And whereas I've been to counseling before and I've experienced moderate success with them, I found that with you, I didn't even really take it that seriously when you put up that message at first back in September. But I remember sitting down somewhere in this room and just, let's see how this hypnosis works, you know. It might be just a parlor trick, who knows. But I trust Chris now. Don't think he'll make me cluck like a chicken or anything like that. but it's after we were doing some deep work and really figuring out some of the challenges that were affecting me in my adulthood and how far they stretched back from, it really helped me to understand that I do have some control even over the impact that those past events would have had on me in the present, and therefore I could track a path to the future that could see me in a really better position than I was at that point. Sometimes, in some cases, in even more than I could even imagine at the time. And I remember you made that prophecy, if you want to call it that, and I took it with a pinch of salt, but I've lived to see that there have been some remarkable improvements in my own personal life and in my professional life as well.
All right. When you started, it started, yes, to try out hypnosis and see what that was about, hypnotherapy. But we went down, because I'm also a Tony Robbins trained life coach.
Yes.
And we went down into coaching and overcoming some of the barriers that have stopped you from, over time, from being your best self. So that's a conversation that we've had over time.
Yes, indeed.
What can we do to become your best self?
Yes.
Let's zone into your professional achievement.
Indeed.
You've been able to achieve something really good for yourself.
Indeed.
Tell me about that.
So when we met back in 2016, I've been working in sales since around 2011, and with varying degrees of success. I worked in stationery, I worked in selling direct TV in a day where most people stream. So you can imagine swimming up streams, trying to sell people door-to-door television. I worked in telecoms, I worked in IT, and then I worked selling consumables, let's put it like that. it was more like a commodity that I was selling rather than a value-added product. And there was a lot of frustration, even though I was grateful for the opportunities. There was a lot of frustration because it wasn't really resonating with what I thought I was good at and what I had actually have passion for, which is broadcasting.
Right.
And I had interviewed and auditioned since 2009 to work in radio.
Okay.
I've always had a passion for radio. I mean, I was that kid that when a television ad came on, I would like literally grab the product and actually do like a voiceover of the product. I had a Radio Fusion, like one of those old Radio Fusion boxes in the corner of my grandmother's house. Well, it's really my uncle's, but whatever. And I just remember listening at night, listening to the BBC and listening to Neil Nunes, listening to those famous broadcasters and so on, and wanting and envisioning myself being like that one of those days. And I had reached a point in 2016 where I hadn't made much progress in that field at all. I mean, they might have a voiceover here and there that I might be paid a little bit for, but I envisioned doing that as part of my career. And then this opportunity came up in late 2017 to work in advertising sales at Starcom Network. And I grabbed it. And I with the tools that I had, I followed up, because the first time I had the interview, I was rejected because they hired someone else. I guess it didn't work out, because then over time I have followed up with the management team there. And in early 2018, they called and said, okay, here's the opportunity. You got to produce or perish. And I jumped in there. And it was a struggle at first, but this year, especially around March, April, I've experienced like one of those exponential jumps in my productivity. And sales is an extremely bottom line, rigid profession. You either can hit target or you can't. And oftentimes, within reason, they don't really care, how you get it done.
Right.
It's all about managing relationships and serving your customers well and doing everything within the bounds of the rules and the laws. But it really is a bottom line profession. Either you hit your target or you're a couple dollars off and you didn't do it. And no one cares to hear after a time about the excuses. You can only use the economy as an excuse for so much. And then they point to others, well, the economy is bad, but this person hit their sales target, what's wrong with you? But now, with the tools that I've gathered from you and actually executing on those strategies, I've seen a remarkable improvement. So much so that I received most improved salesperson for the last quarter. And we go by calendar year at my company. So January, February, March, April, May, June, I received the salesperson of the quarter. And you're partially to blame, Chris. You're partially to blame.
Wonderful. I've enjoyed working with you.
Yes.
There have been challenges.
Yes.
There have been, you're seeing things going forward, going up, and then sometimes there are little roadblocks that come.
Indeed.
But I was impressed at how you continued, how you decided we need to get back going, we need to get back focused.
Yes.
I need to continue working with you because I've been seeing results.
Yes.
What is there any particular thing that we did that you found particularly useful in your success for Jason?
Visualizing what I actually want has helped me a ton.
Okay.
I used to think that was a bunch of woo woo and those are sort of things that you don't really need, just get on with it. Go and do your work and get on with it. But but the power of visualizing even before the beginning of a given period, say a quarter or a month, how would it feel if I hit my target? How would it feel to serve a client well? What does a successful meeting feel like? And asking myself those positive questions that even before the actual event can help me to shape how an event would go has helped me a whole lot. How would it feel when I see that I made XYZ target and I blew past it and even made more? How would it feel when, and again, these are questions that I never thought I would be asking myself, talking about feelings. I thought I was feelings are for soft people. That's not, I'm supposed to be tough. But emotion is huge in my business, especially when so much of it is hearing no so often. And there's a quote that I can't remember exactly. I think Churchill said it, that, success is going from failure to failure without a loss of enthusiasm. And I found that even recently in hearing all the no's, it made me encouraged that, okay, I'm one step closer to hearing yes. And
one step closer to success.
One step closer to success. I'm on that path. So if I'm hearing no's, that's not a bad sign. That's actually a good sign. And I almost want to say I can't explain the success, but if I really sit down and think about it, there is an attitude adjustment I made with your help that can attribute a large course to the success I've been seeing. Yes, economic factors may have contributed to it, and business cycles may contribute to it, and just sheer luck. But I had to have been in a position to be a beneficiary of that luck. If you're not prepared, if something turns in your favor, then you're not going to necessarily be a beneficiary of it. In my line of work.
Okay.
So I really happy that visualization technique and so on, and asking those positive questions has helped in this regard.
Yeah, so you've mentioned some visualizing, asking positive questions, how to focus. We're not going to go into all the specifics of that. Please. Of course, you have to visit me to find out what these are all about. But we look at that, how to focus. We look at your personal GPS system, managing yourself.
Yes.
We also looked at balancing your personal and professional life. So you look at your life as a whole, and how do we put together, how do you manage emotions and manage the different areas of your life.
Indeed.
And speaking of emotions, I get the feeling that your confidence is something that shot up.
No question. Whole deal. No question.
Could you share a little bit about what has changed where that's concerned?
In 2016, I had just transitioned from one job to another. It wasn't fired. I quit and gone from one to another, but my confidence was down in the dumps because it was a good fit, the previous job, and in retrospect, the new job wasn't a good fit for me either. And then I was struggling in my personal relationships, and it was just an all-round bad way, but at least there was a couple positive steps, and one of them was that I had begun to see, to get help for those issues that had extended well into my adulthood from childhood. And I made some decisive steps at the end of 2016, some of which that, parents and family didn't agree with necessarily, but I stuck to my guns and I implemented that plan, and it took some sacrifice for late nights and such like, and it led to a lot of sleeplessness. You would have seen me there in that workplace as well, working an extra job and working night shift and such like, and folks looking on may have wondered, hey, what happened with Jason? Was he looking in the Bible? I wonder what's going on with him. But they didn't know that I had a plan.
Right.
And that particular role was just part of the plan.
Right.
And it gave me a lot of confidence that I could stick to it until I achieved my goal. And that was a big thing for me. And even though it was a big sacrifice, I, looking back now, think it was worth it for my own self-confidence that, okay, I can set a goal, I can actually see it through to the end, and I can feel the satisfaction of actually doing it.
Right. And one of the things that we say is success breeds success.
It does.
So when you accomplish a goal, you feel like you can do it. You feel like you're capable of doing more.
And then it's like, so that's the question now that I ask myself. I wonder what else I can do. Right. What else can I do? Given that I've done this, am I going to just rest on my laurels? No way. My question now is, okay, So I've done this. So what else can I do? And now my brain actively looks up for situations now where it's actively challenging, but well, I did this, so why can't I do that? There's
Yeah.
no reason why I can't. And then I hit that, and then so confidence breeds success, breeds confidence, which breeds more success. So I'm 100% in a better position than I was 3 years ago.
Assertiveness.
No
Assertiveness and decisiveness. Those are two issues that so many of persons that come to see me, we work on. Because many times if a person has been through a trauma, or if a person has been through family issues in childhood, they usually don't speak up for themselves or stand up for themselves. And then they find that in their career, in their personal life, in their relationships, they aren't assertive and they don't make decisive, they aren't decisive.
Yeah.
So I've found that that's something that I've seen that in you. You're more assertive.
No question.
You're definitely more decisive. You know what you want. You say what you want. Sometimes people wonder what you mean by it, but the point is getting beyond that part of you that used to hold back, that used to say, I don't know that I want to say this. I don't know that I want to speak up. Are there any specific situations that you would like to share where you've seen yourself being assertive or being decisive in your professional life or otherwise that have made a difference?
A client was speaking to one of my bosses within my earshot at a function that my company hosted a couple months back. And she was recalling how I called her. And now she is the marketing manager of a major distribution chain here in Barbados, manufacturing distribution. It's charged on a massive budget. And she recalled to one of the managers that Jason called her up one day and said, basically, and this is her saying, yes, we need to have a meeting. I'm coming over, but blah, blah, blah. I come in and see you. And I was kind of amused. I kind of laughed. And it was like, dang, man, you basically bullied this woman into a meeting, though. And not only bullied, well, it's not really bullied. Bullied is the word that comes to mind, but it really was that I was so confident and forward that she was like, I have no choice but to actually attend this meeting. He's actually coming. Okay, cool. And I showed up on time, and I told her about this is what we're going to do over the next 3 months. And she was like, okay.
So you led the conversation.
I led the conversation.
And you shaped the relationship.
And I shaped the transaction, and I closed like a boss. And she was impressed.
Yeah.
And she recalled that to him. And he was kind of looking at me like, you did that? I was like, yeah, I guess I did. So it is just one example. And I feel good to get examples of that every day. I mean, there's other ones where you kind of have to salvage your relationship because a client something hasn't executed properly, or there was some sort of miscommunication, or but I feel even in those situations I don't feel like running like how I used to, because I used to be like, oh God, I gotta deal with this, I don't want to. But now I'm like, okay, I hear what you're saying. I feel that you're angry. I take responsibility for my part in that, full responsibility to make sure this gets right. And not looking to cast blame on anyone else, and not looking to absolve myself of anything. But and realizing that, the reason the person is calling me is because they want a problem solved. They might be frustrated in the moment, but they really want a problem solved. And so count that as a positive, even if I'm getting a negative reaction in the moment.
Right. And so with all those challenges, with all those barriers to possible barriers and roadblocks to transactions and relationships with clients and even in personal life, etc.
Yes.
What difference has been made with managing your emotions, emotional control, emotion management?
I just found that I'm able to positively approach things and to be able to cope under the weight of sometimes negative things a little bit better.
Okay.
One of my go-tos back in the past would be to call a friend or call a family member and moan and fight about things. But now I'm just finding that I actually speak to myself and say, Jason, you can handle this. Jason, it's a little stressful now. Just take up time and just like coach myself the same way someone would do if I was speaking to them on the other side of the phone.
Right.
And I found that made me feel really good because now it feels like I'm getting stronger and getting more resilient, getting more able to cope, effectively cope with things as opposed to suppressing it or because that energy has to go somewhere. And I figure, well, let's use that to push me forward as opposed to trying to redirect it in a negative way or dump it on someone else on the phone or something like that. I'm able to just deal with the stressful situation in the moment and actually try to learn from it. And just, again, taking full responsibility. It's helped me. It's helped diffuse situations as well. And I'm not doing it to manipulate people by saying, oh, but I take full responsibility and they have no other moves.
That's your personal position.
But my thing is, okay, I'm going to take responsibility to make sure that you're satisfied at the end of this interaction. And so that approach has been working for me brilliantly, and I'm just going to continue, and I look forward to seeing what happens next.
For me, I call it building alliances rather than burning bridges.
Yes.
And now, situations like these and stories like yours, Jason, these are things I am seeing every day. And I like to tell, I tell clients all the time, having outcomes and results and transformations like yours give me on a day-to-day, week-by-week basis a really warm, sweet feeling inside.
I can imagine, yeah.
And it just speaks to the fantastic work that clients are seeing as they come to Insight Consulting and they work with me.
Yes.
And I really want to thank you as a male for coming forward and getting help. You could have stopped or you could have decided not to go forward.
Yeah.
But I really want to commend you and congratulate you.
Thank you, sir.
On your success, on your growth, on your transformation. And I continue to wish you all the best in your personal and professional life.
Thank you.
And I look forward to working with you also, our listeners and viewers, to reach out to us, Insight Consulting. We help you to take control of your thoughts, your emotions, and your behavior to become your best self. You can give me a call at 247-6899, or you can email us insightconsultingbb@gmail.com, or find us on Facebook, Insight Consulting Barbados. And if you need someone in the media to post
sell
an ad
your message.
to sell your message,
yes,
Jason,
Jason,
how do we find you? How do we reach you, Jason?
You can reach me at 430-7300, extension 7324, or Jason Belle, Belle, at starcomnetwork.net. You can find me on Facebook too. I reach out. I make myself available anyway, anyhow.
All right.
But yeah, those are the main ways you can reach me.
All right. And this video will probably be up years. You may transition to another job, but you can always reach out to Jason. He's just growing. So find Jason, and you can find me, Insight Consulting. Thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day as you become your best self.